Hello, my name is Juan Enrique, and I'm here to present the rise of inflation. Can you imagine how nice life would have been right now if the virus would have never existed and if there was never a pandemic? Well, we might be living good, enjoying with our loved ones and cherishing each moment. But unfortunately, life had other plans. COVID is one of the main reasons why inflation rose to the top. Inflation is a general increase in the prices of goods and services in an economy. Inflation leads to those in debt to become obviously more in debt, which can lead to depression, stress, anxiety, and etc. Now, I would like to share with you three parts of our lives that were affected by inflation. Point number one, gas. Well, oil is a major economic input, so a rise in oil prices contribute to inflation, which measures the overall rate of price increases across the economy. Here is a visual example of gas prices here in Chicago. As we can see, based on this chart, uh, gas has elevated from a year ago, from 2021, where we had an average of 326 for regular, go up to 526 this year, as well as premium going up from 4 to 597 and diesel from 325 to 533. So we see an increase of higher than $1 to over $1.50, making inflation, rise super high from one year to another. And as we know, the pandemic is one of the main reasons why the gas price is elevated, and because the OPEC, um, decided to cut their production on crude oil and making gasoline more expensive so that they would still they would still make profit, so they would increase, um it wouldn't hurt as much as selling gasoline, for example, at these prices. They would sell less gasoline, but they would sell it for a higher price. Moving on to housing and rent. I want to start off with the graph here where we could see rent growth increase per month. Here in blue, we have Chicago. In red, it represents Illinois, and in green, the USA in general. So we start off seeing by 2021, when we're still in pandemic, we could start seeing an increase in rent growth percentage starting from 2021 going forward. And we could see that going throughout all the way till August, to see major percentage changes from when we would have started back, at the beginning of 2021. So this is in a span of one whole year. And inflation has increased property value, making it sort of a win for owners who are looking at selling their property. But people who are in search for a home may notice that the price of the home now is way higher to what it was valued before the pandemic. And that is because housing prices tend to rise in an inflationary economy. So meaning for the people that have already property, and they're homeowners and everything, it benefits them majorly if they are looking to sell, their house or whatever it is, because in the market now, their property is high. And for people that are, on the lower end looking for property, it may be harder because, the property value is way higher, meaning that, people may be scared to take out home loans, and, interests might be higher because, the prices of the homes are high, but that doesn't tend to stick around forever because, house properties, they go up and down as time goes by. And my point number three is groceries, and this is, I would say, the most important one. Um, because even during times of high inflation, people need to eat. And so, grocery stocks tend to perform better than any other industries in volatile markets. Grocery stores can pass along rising costs to consumers, offsetting a decline in revenue. And during the pandemic, many people went into a panic mode, as they would buy multiple merchandise, causing production to be short. And, this would force the companies to overcharge their products, making grocery prices higher than what people were normally accustomed to. So these people, they would go to the store and they would buy, a lot of food, and, they would leave, companies short, because companies order a certain amount of stock. And if the stock goes, by the time they get the other stock, um, it leaves companies, without nothing. So these companies were forced to raise the prices so that, they would be able to order more stock. And, if people had no option, so they would have to pay those prices. And in conclusion, I have shared with you 3 parts of our lives that were affected by inflation. Inflation made the gas, housing, rent, and grocery prices to go up. And no matter how hard it can be to go through a difficult phase that is inflation, the majority of people have had to adapt and adjust to the lifestyle for the best of themselves and their families. I know that I am one that has been affected by inflation. And a question that I have to you guys is, have you guys been impacted by inflation in any way? It doesn't have to be in any of the 3 points that I mentioned. And these are what I referenced to. These are the articles that I got. Um, I got this article here based on housing. I got this one based on gas. I got an article based on food, and just an article in general about how the pandemic changed how we shop for groceries. And yeah, that would be it. Thank you.